What's up, guys, and welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. We are going to talk about UFC Jacksonville today. First off, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Guys, thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, follow everywhere that you guys are listening. If you guys only do the audio tune cast, make sure you guys tune in to the Road to Redemption podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Castbox, we're on all that stuff. I think the only one we're not on is Spotify because nobody listens and it pays too much money, or it costs too much money to host it on Spotify and nobody listens to it there. So find it on Google Play Store, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, the whole thing. Yeah, other than that, man, everything's good. The new website's up, roadtoredemptionpodcast.com, where you can find all the newest videos, audio episodes, blogs, everything Road to Redemption Podcast. It is there. Thank you all so much for the response on the YouTube channel. We're getting very, very close. We're like 30 subscribers away from 500, so thank you guys so much for that. We are doing the Happy Valley Pipe Company giveaway, where I'm giving away 2 Happy Valley Pipe Company pipes. The 500th subscriber will get one as long as they're 21 years old, and then I will randomly pick one throughout the subscribers from day one of my YouTube channel to today, and as long as they're 21 and in needing of a Happy Valley Pipe Company pipe, they will get one. It's been an interesting couple days for me, ever since releasing the episode where I told you guys why I got fired and everything like that. It was a little interesting because I didn't really know what to expect, to be very honest. I didn't know whether people were going to be upset. I didn't know if people were going to be like, oh, typical Cam, using substances, getting fired. I didn't know, but honestly, the response was amazing. For the first time ever, I had a lot of people in my life who I truthfully thought was going to just tear me apart. They were going to use it as a kick Cam while he's down clinic, and they did not. Honestly, everybody I talked to was like, man, everything you've been doing, all the stuff you got going on right now, as hard as you've been working, I think this is for the best. And I think you really need to, for some people in my life to tell me that they think I need to just double down on what I'm doing, that meant a lot. That really did mean a lot. The time that I've been getting with my family has been great. Now that I'm doing this social media thing, if you guys can tell, I'm really making a huge push to stay consistent. I'm trying to keep a video up a day at least. The content on Instagram has been pretty steady, but I think it's getting much better. Thank you, by the way, to our sponsor, Salsa Unlimited. I just did a photo shoot for them yesterday here in my house, and that was a whole lot of fun. I'm working on an actual day in the life episode where it's a day in the life of me as a content creator, not that bullshit that I was doing where I had to go sit in an office and act like I was doing stuff for 9 hours. It fucking sucked. So it may take a little bit because I don't want to just give you like, here's what I do. I wake up, I take care of my family, I edit some podcasts, boom. So it might be something that I do like over a span of a month or something like that, but I am working on an actual day in the life. Here's the behind the scenes edit of the Ready to Rise cooking show, the Road to Redemption podcast. You'll get like the behind the scenes of everything that I'm doing. So that'll be good. I dropped my daughter off to daycare this morning, and I planned, as soon as I got up, I was like, man, I'm going to get the baby up, get her going early. I've been out of cannabis for a couple days now, so it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. I notice my anxiety comes back real heavy. I start to get real negative mentally. I don't sleep very well, all these things. So, yeah, it's been a rough mental kind of thing. Just, it's a constant reminder, right? When you're, for me, I use cannabis to chill some of the mental things that I have. And for me, it's just remembering like, hey, just because it's not ideal, just because this isn't the perfect scenario and you wish that you could get some relief, it doesn't mean that your world is ending, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to die. It doesn't mean that you're going to have an anxiety attack. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a bout of depression. And I just keep trying to remind myself of those things, that even while the things that you know work may not be available right now, it's definitely, it's worth stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. I'm trying to just see how I do now that I've, made my bold proclamations and told everybody, what it is and what I do. I figure now is the time to step back, reset, and take a little time off from that. So, yeah. Anyway, took my daughter to daycare this morning, guys. That is the roughest thing ever. If you have a child and you take them to a daycare, I feel terrible for you, because that morning of them crying and like, it's the sweetest your kid will ever be. Your kid will never be sweeter than when they don't want to go to school, because they hug you so tight. And my daughter held my hand, her little fingers wrapped around my thumb. I was reached back like this, holding her hand in the back seat driving in. She was crying, put a little blanket up to her face. Oh, shit's heartbreaking. Shit's heartbreaking. But it's an act. It's all an act. They just don't want to go. As soon as they go inside, they're perfectly fine, playing, their friends. They don't think about us twice. It's kind of like, I was thinking about it the other day. It was like, that same feeling, that act that they put on is like, it's the same thing that they do here at the house when they're trying to test boundaries and stuff. Like my daughter, she's 18 months, and now she's in that little span of life where if she knows she's not supposed to do something, she'll look at you and then she'll kind of half do it, and then once you come towards her to stop her, then she kind of gets all excited and she does it. So she's definitely learning. She's learning that she's able to manipulate people's emotions, or she can control the way people feel with her reactions, and that's interesting. It's interesting to watch. So, all right, let's get into it here. I don't want to take up a whole bunch of you guys' time. I just want to get into these guys, this card was amazing. UFC Jacksonville was a good card. Let's start with the prelims. So, Carl Robertson versus Marvin Vettori got canceled, guys. Carl Robertson, it was a weight cut issue from what I heard after. In the beginning, they said he was just medically unfit to fight. The doc, deemed him medically unfit, but it was a bad weight cut. Bad weight cut cost them. Marvin Vettori apparently got really pissed because Robertson missed weight, and then he got really sick trying to hit weight, and so they told him, hey, he missed weight, but he's still going to fight. And then the doctor deemed him, so he was really pissed. Vettori was, rightfully so. He's been on kind of a tear, and he wanted to keep that going. Chase Sherman defeated Ike Villanova. Second round TKO. Chase Sherman, that was a hell of a thing, especially because, in my opinion, Chase Sherman, I don't know, I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to look back at it now. Chase Sherman destroyed Villanova. I mean, the entire time. This kid, just from the second that you walked up, like they walked into the cage, you were like, oh, this isn't going to go well for Villanova. Can you guys see? Probably not. Probably not. Oh, there, I got it for a second. Clearly a mismatch. Where we at? Clearly a mismatch. Yeah, that was not good. He got destroyed. You literally, after the first 2 minutes, you could see Villanova was like, I have made a very, very poor decision. Made a very poor decision. This one was Brian Kelleher defeated Hunter Azur via second round knockout. I'm trying to... Guys, when it gets down to these cards, like these smaller ones... Oh, okay. Boom. That's who it is. It's they call him Boom. Defeated Brian Boom Kelleher defeated Hunter Azur. Yeah, now in my opinion, Kelleher was getting beat that whole fight. I thought he was getting outstruck that whole fight, and then Azur got caught. Hey, it happens. Omar Morales defeated Gabriel Benavidez. That was a dog fight, man. Those two, that was a battle of the hair. The whole time they kept whipping their hair back out of their face, which in my opinion was one of the reasons that Benavidez lost that fight, was because he kept taking time away to mess with his fucking hair. Yeah, it was a great fight. Reminded me a lot of the Ricky Simone fight later on in the card. But yeah, great fight. Unanimous decision. It was a back and forth, just bloodbath. Go watch that one. Eubanks versus Sarah Moraes. Moraes? Soraya Eubanks. Guys, that one I was making fun of Soraya Eubanks the whole time. I was saying, somebody come get your Canadian mom before she gets hurt. She looks just like your very typical, standard Canadian lady. She's just a white Canadian lady, and she doesn't really look like an athlete. But I'll tell you what, man, I doubted her, and I think I did that incorrectly, because the whole fight, she stayed locked in, she stayed present. The Moraes, when she was fighting, I thought for sure Moraes took on more of the Amanda Nunes type. She's kind of short and stocky with a very hard, lean face. I'm pretty sure she was Brazilian. I think she is. So she's got the ground game going. I just thought that had she committed more, I think she would have absolutely destroyed Eubanks. There was quite a few times where Eubanks looked like she had no response. Eubanks was overextending way too much, so I think if Moraes would have just sat there and waited for her to overextend on that jab, overextend, rock back, bow, she would have cracked Eubanks. I think she could have put her to sleep quite a few times. There was a few ground, tussles here and there, but most of the fight stayed on the feet. Eubanks won by unanimous decision, which I did not understand that at all. I did not think Eubanks won that fight. But again, I have been very wrong. I called most of these fights wrong. Thiago Moses defeats Michael Johnson via submission to heel hook. That one was crazy because Michael Johnson was fucking him up the entire time. Michael Johnson played it perfect. He stayed so active. He kept moving. He was hard to hit because you just didn't know where he was going. His head was moving. Every single shot he went for, it landed. It was Michael Johnson's night. And then what happens? This kid knows he's getting tuned up, and he was getting tuned up bad. He had no answer for anything that Johnson was doing. Second round, as soon as the ding, he comes out, dives for a heel hook, wraps him up, knee. He tapped. He actually tapped twice. Ref missed it the first time and got it the second. He said that he could hear Johnson's knee cracking a whole bunch, that's never good. Heel hooks are rough. Andrei Arlovsky versus Philip Lins. That was actually a good fight. Arlovsky put on quite the clinic in that one. Now, Lins didn't look bad. Lins had really fast hands, especially for a heavyweight. I mean, I was really surprised at how fast those two were. They both had power. Neither one of them were really putting each other away. It seemed like it was a very even match. For Arlovsky to be 41 and this kid to be like 33, I think. Good win for Arlovsky. Still proving you can get in there and do the damn thing. Ricky Simone defeats Ray Borg via split decision. Ricky Simone is a very exciting fighter. He's like the cringeless Henry Cejudo to me. He's very opinionated and he likes to do all this stuff while he's fighting. Like, I forget what he did. Oh, he flexed in the middle of the fight. Something happened. He got hit and he goes, bah, and he flexed. I don't like that kind of shit. I'm a big fan of Ray Borg. I supported him when his family, his son's going through the brain cancer or brain surgery thing. So I definitely support him. Ricky Simone won. Yeah, I thought Ray Borg put on a good fight too. But yeah, I mean, I can't be mad at that. Drew Dauber versus Alexander Hernandez. Guys, that was a great fight. Dauber won that one. Alexander Hernandez he got beat up. Dauber sat back, played his game. Dauber's a brawler. He's going to sit there and just tear you down brick by brick by brick, and he's going to do it with a lot of pain. Both those two dudes, they move a lot. I mean, got to be the two best looking dudes in the UFC. I mean, those are Alexander the Great and Drew Dauber, got to be two of the most handsome men in the UFC. It was insane. Like, I was annoyed at how chiseled Dauber's whole face was. Now, it might have been the weight cut too, but like the muscles in his face, all down here in his cheekbones, everything, it was so defined. I was like, God bless, the guy's like a fucking sculpture. It was insanity. It was absolutely insanity. So yeah, two dudes throwing down, second round TKO. Alexander, he was done. Ben Rothwell defeated Ovince St. Preux. I did not like that fight. Ben Rothwell, just a big old son of a bitch, huge. He literally just sat there with his hand cocked back the whole time, just waiting to throw that power right. He was just sitting there like that. He literally didn't do anything with his jab hand. He just sat here like this, waited, and as soon as he saw it, bang, he would throw it, sit back, bang, and he would throw it. That's all he did the entire fight. It was complete bullshit. Ovince St. Preux took a lot of damage, but he took it well. I mean, he showed Ovince St. Preux moves up from light heavyweight to heavyweight, shows that he can hang with the big dogs. I mean, Big Ben Rothwell, come on, they don't get much bigger than that. And that power, I mean, he was there with him. Let's see, Glover Teixeira defeats Anthony Smith for the main event. Guys, one of the wildest main events I've seen in a very long time. Anthony Smith put on a clinic for the first little bit. I think it was 1 round, 2 rounds, maybe 3 even. Anthony Smith was just doing his thing, and then Glover Teixeira caught him, bang, right in the mouth. Now we know later Anthony Smith lost his teeth. He lost a couple of his teeth, so he got hit, and as soon as he got hit, you saw him kind of go like this, and it looked like he was covering his eye. So he kind of went back and he went down into the cage like that, and then he stopped fighting. I mean, for 2 rounds, he just stopped fighting. He literally just laid there, and it was like he was waiting on the ref to help him, but he really wasn't. There was no reason, in my opinion, that ref should not have stopped that fight. He should have stopped the fight. Now, Anthony Smith says, I applaud the ref and I applaud my coaches for not throwing in the towel. I wanted to keep going. I made the efforts. Yeah, my teeth got knocked out, but I've got veneers throughout my shit. He's like, most of my teeth are fake anyway. He's like, I don't really care. Yeah, that fight should have been stopped. Anthony Smith was taking so much damage. He was so clearly hurt. And he goes back, I think it was in between the 3rd and the 4th, and he goes, my teeth are falling out. And he, at one point in the fight, he's on the ground, Glover Teixeira is punching him in the face, and he grabs his tooth off the canvas and he hands it to not Mark Goddard, I forget the name of the referee, but yeah, hands it to him. And then he lets him fight. No, you gotta call that. You gotta call that. I mean, he literally just covered up like this and laid there. But Lionheart is a very, very appropriate name for Anthony Smith. Cause wow, I look forward to him being a champion one day. And guys, that's a review. That's the review of the card. UFC Jacksonville. It was odd. It was a very odd card. With the cancellation of the fight, there was a lot of kind of airtime where you were, oh, by the way, UFC, stop airing that SiriusXM commercial where they're all doing the video calls and Justin Bieber's like, what's up, guys? They played that commercial every 15 fucking seconds. UFC, stop playing that commercial on ESPN Plus. Stop it. It sucks. It's a terrible commercial. Don't play it every 15 seconds. I literally almost turned the shit off because I was so tired of that commercial. Ooh. Thumbs up. Subscribe. Right now. Do it right now. We're out of here. Love you guys.